Hello and welcome to this first episode of Concept Art, Fundamentals and the Basics. Here we will discuss what the concept art is. Mainly we will be focusing on character design because I am more interested into creating the characters and their costumes and their backstories rather than creating the environments and props, which is also very important for the concept artist. You would have to have the knowledge and skills of concepting the environment as well, the backgrounds. I had the experience in creating backgrounds as well and props. I wouldn't say that I necessarily enjoyed the process, but it's something that you have to know along the way when you become an actual concept artist. The studios, the art director will require you to have this skill, and they have to make sure that you can deliver the ideas and that you can communicate through these visual images. So what is the concept art? Let's say that concept art is the creative roadmap, a fundamental on which your whole character design builds on. Let's think of that. You can't jump into the details and decorating your house with, pictures, the furniture, without having this base fundamental on which your house is built and stands on, right? So we cannot jump into the detail in the character without having the actual base for it, which I call a silhouette, right? So the two main things about concept art is the idea and the visual representation of that idea. I once heard this ultimate rule of concept art, which is show and don't tell. And by that, I mean, you have your concept, your design must speak to the audience without actually saying any words. So for that, you would have to be very clear. You have to define the shape early on and then add details to make the character unique. But let me tell you that you don't necessarily have to have explicit details and very busy design in order to make the character unique. Sometimes the simple the better. And I'm not saying that details are necessarily bad. It's just sometimes you can say more with less, if that makes sense. I really like this idea of show and don't tell, because if you can clearly communicate the idea through the visual, then I think you achieved your goal and one step closer to the success. Why do we create designs? I think it's for both functional and authentic appeal, because people like to see very attractive design that is also serves a purpose. This character has a weapon or some kind of equipment. Is it practical? How do they operate with it? What is about this character that makes them so unique? I think you already know that there's truly nothing new in this world that hasn't been already created or invented, because every design is a derivative of the derivative of the derivative of the derivative and so on. However, since everybody is different and they have a unique perspective of things, we can deliver design with our own understanding of a context and infusing our own insights for the other people to perceive also in their own unique way. So you may ask, and how do I start my concept? If I want to create a character, I already have this idea. I just want to jump straight into details without actually sketching a bunch of drafts because I want to skip this step. You can, but I don't think it's gonna be efficient. I mean, character concept art can be divided into maybe 3 types of sketching. First of all, we have silhouettes. That involves basic 2 to 3 gray shades. You can also use color, but I would restrain myself from using color on such an early stage of creating concept, just because it can distract you. Concept artists stick to basic monochrome and grayscale because it's easier to just divide the shape into light, middle tones, and shadows. So 2 to 3 shade colors will be just enough. We just start with a bulk form Spot? Stain? What word I'm thinking of? So we're just starting with this basic form and gradually defining the shape within this minimum distraction. And then you can add middle tones, or you can start with shadow color, then add midtones and light just to define the shape. It's totally up to you, honestly. So why the silhouettes are important? If we take these notable characters and closely look at them, even without the details, the color, we still can tell what this character is just by looking at their silhouette. Even if you completely strip away all the details, if the character is still recognizable, that means you did a great job designing it. But no matter how complex the design is, no matter how colorful or practical the concept looks, even their backstory, no matter how well thought out it is, it must be clear and deliver transparency. Again, this doesn't necessarily mean that details are bad, but as long as they're well organized and add to the character's unique appearance, I think they're good. So we just need to focus on making our character memorable and recognizable, regardless of the intensity of detail or the simplicity of the design. Second of all, how strangely that may sound, shapes. Apply basic shapes like triangles, circles, squares. It can also help you define the form and build this general idea of what the character would be. Another way of communicating the visual. So from the biggest and most important piece to the secondary shapes that determine costumes, weapons or equipment, hairstyles, maybe pets, depending on what your final goal is. So within that, the tertiary. Within that, tertiary shapes, accessories, equipment, again I said equipment, patterns, ornaments, and all the rest of fine detailing. It is important to decide on the character's shape early on because it will significantly impact on this character's appearance and essence of this character. I think there was some kind of a test when you look at the picture and there are two shapes. One is spiky and the other one is rounded. Your brain immediately goes to, okay, round is safe, spiky is bad. Because it means dangerous. It's very interesting and fascinating that our brain can interpret information by just looking at the shape. If you want to showcase your character as an aggressive, or maybe you want to get a villain, you might go for the spiky and sharp edges to show, okay, this character is dangerous. It don't necessarily need to make it look spiky just to show that your character is a villain. It's pretty stereotypical. The villains may look very deceiving. No need to make it extra obvious, but the choice is yours, right? Do whatever you want, baby. The soft and rounded shapes probably give you a feeling of safety and solace. There are also other things like, bulky and square-like shapes also give you a sense of security and safety. You look at the character and you immediately think to yourself, oh, they're protective, they're reliable, they can defend you. Versus thin and tall characters that probably look fragile and unstable, maybe vulnerable, somewhat shy, awkward, all of that. So all these details already can give you a hint of what the character might look like, what is their personality, and what to expect from them. Okay, I think that's enough of rambling. And without further ado, let's get to the practice part of this video. So before we jump straight into creating and drawing, what's the first and the most important part? Research and references. So before you even lay your finger on the canvas and start drawing, you must gather all the references, searching for pictures, inspirations. It's good to use real photo references. just because it's easier for your brain to divide the shape that hasn't been distorted or tweaked in any way yet. After we gather all the information needed, all the references are on board, it's time for the exploration part. That's when we are starting our brainstorming. We just jump straight to the concepting. First thing we do, we start bulk, using big shapes and gradually narrowed it down, refining the shapes. Still restraining from any details yet, just because we want to find this form, this shape of the character. So I don't know how to actually do this because I tried to connect my iPad to my PC so that way I can stream my display in real time, but I just cannot wrap my head around that, why it doesn't work. I have all the necessary cables. I might figure out this later for the next video. I'll be prepared, I promise. That's one thing I do promise, and I will stick to my promise because I never break them. And I just want to be voice cracked there for a second. What? I want to be able to show you guys high quality tutorials if that's where my channel is going for. Still figuring out the format. I'll just screen record my screen because I really wanted to show you this pipeline, the pattern which you must follow. The tail that must be followed, the tail that must not be followed. Got freaky there for a second. Alright, so I had this idea. Actually, it's not an idea, it was my weird dream the other day. I dreamt of a character concept, and for some reason it was themed around fruits and berries. So there was a banana and a blueberry and some other fruits that I can remember. And I thought to myself, maybe banana doesn't sound that bad, because I just want to test this out. Let's see. So I did find this reference. Just a simple banana peeled off. I'll just keep it there for, for now. Let's just sit there. Make the screen a little more colorful. So first, pick up the color. I did say grayscale, but I want something less grayscale. Yeah, let's pick a darker color, like that. I'm using these brushes. It's Philips Hue, Essential 1, 2. They do look the same. Maybe I just duplicated them. Kind of like that one that I already chose. Yeah, so alright, let's start sketching. So first we start in bulk, creating the shape, and you don't have to worry about it looking weird at the start. It's okay. It's not gonna be, it's not something it's not supposed to be perfect right now. I also like to use, it's the same brush I use for the eraser. Who would think of that? Okay, so I do like to draw with my eraser more than the brush, honestly, because it helps me to clean, ragged edges. Maybe you would have some kind of stuff. I don't know. Like Soraka from League of Legends. She does references banana a lot because of her horn on her head. I don't know, man. So, is it too big? I think that's alright. I'll just move a little bit further from... Oh! There's little guy we don't need yet. Okay. So... Also, don't worry about the anatomy too much. This is gonna be looking really weird. Banana guy. Also, while we are at this stage of exploration, we can manifest backstory. Maybe make it longer, I don't know. Ooh. I want to make them taller. Oh, also, I wanted to mention that body language is also that something that is also very important when it comes to character design, because this looks like a crescent, but I guess banana looks like a crescent. So body language is important because it can tell a lot about the character's personality, like the way they move, the way they gesture, all that kind of stuff. Could be really, really nice. And also, I am struggling with changing the brush size. I hate doing that, honestly. So let's. Ooh. Ooh. Don't like that at all. Let's pick some middle tones, right? Zoom in. And start defining the shapes a little bit more. Maybe move his arm just a little bit. Just a wee bit. A wee bit to the right. Like that. Give him more space. And bring the posture. Big shoulder. Man, I just think of that, the banana guards from Adventure Time, right? I should have used them as a reference too, maybe. Like they have the glacier on their heads. Glacier, whatever. Oh yeah. I did have this idea for their hairstyle. Maybe make them... Oi, Josuke. Oi, Josuke. Maybe I move it this way. Again, let's not waste too much time on one concept. Just take 10 minutes. Although it's more than 10 minutes. Yeah, here, sleeves. These are gonna go on the back. This is the front, this is the back. Maybe make him a bit longer. Oh, he looks like a princess. No. Ooh. Goatee and mustache. I wonder where his other hand is. I was thinking of maybe place it here on his chest like he's a guard. Oh, here we go. We're coming up with the backstory. So he's a paladin, sorta with a staff. Do paladins use staff? I don't think they do, but my paladin will, for the sake of this concept. Again, that's me saying that you have to have a lot of references before starting and jumping straight into drawing, but I'm just want to use minimal distraction because I have the, one idea. I don't need much for now. Maybe I'll use another color. Highlight. Just gonna define his pants, maybe give them a belt. that holds his banana form from falling apart. I don't know. So okay, I think that looks good. We can jump straight to the next silhouette. Yeah, I did do a couple details, light shading. I'm not particularly happy about this concept, but we're still at the exploration stage. So you don't have to like your concept now. Let's do... I've got some more references pulled up on my computer. So maybe this time we'll create something more to our liking. Let's see. Kind of use something dynamic here. Maybe focus more on her costuming. That goes here. So, yeah, crazy hips. Yeah, man. Like I said, this is kind of a messy part, and just, you know, explore, finding out what shapes work best with each other, what looks good, what's not. I want her arm to look exquisite, fluid. Maybe both hands in the air. Oh, maybe you'll use some kind of, like a hoop, sorta, that is rotating around her, and it's also like a blade, so she might just slice her enemies. I don't know. Let's see if that works. Okay, I'm realizing that her hand is too long. Or maybe she's holding the hoop? No, kind of like it levitates. Kind of like the idea of it just floating in space around her and kind of swirls in this spiral dance around this lady. Who knows? Do we want some kind of crazy hair? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not necessarily. Oh, yes, you know what? I want to do her these things that wrap around her shoulders. Kind of liking it here. Oh yeah, me likey. Let's move these guys further from her head, because I don't want them to overlap. Oh, are you an elf? Let's see if that works. No, that doesn't. In my opinion, it doesn't look good. maybe... Oh, here it goes. Right here. Not bad at all. Let's move her up. Just a little. As if she floats in the air. Make her beautiful face. Maybe, possibly. So I do. Oh no raising. I do wanna move these guys. Open up her chest just a little. Yeah. Oh, it looks good. Oi, Josuke. Yeah, I'm starting to like it. So at this point, you should be able to feel, you know, in what direction you want to focus. Okay, your fingers, move them. So this hand will be like some sort of pointy, like that, maybe, perhaps, mayhaps. What kind of hairstyle should we give you? I mean, this, this, no. Oh, maybe give her a hat? No, she looks like a pirate. I kind of want to emphasize her banana look-like parts of her costume. I'm bringing more accent. So I do want to separate these legs. And the knee goes here. So the knee would be here. So I want to keep it a reflex. Show her shoulders just a bit, just a wee bit. It doesn't look like banana at all to you anymore, right? Am I right? Ooh, I do like that. That's interesting. You see, compared to the first one, there's less details. Why? Are these the same colors? No, they're not! I knew something was off. Like, this is very striking. I can make this work. I think this one's good. This one's good. I don't want to make it overly complicated, just the first one. So leave it as is. Okay, and so finally, let's make this final concept. We're not gonna go too crazy Just keep it subtle. So 3 would be enough. Of course, if you want to keep exploring, and also for necking your skills, it would be best if you try to increase your sketching from 5 to 10, from 10 to 15 thumbnails. The more the better, but it's just a great exercise in my opinion to increase your speed as you sketch the thumbnail, because you don't have to waste like 40 minutes in one silhouette like I do, because I am a perfectionist, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to grow in this fast-paced environment, it's really a good exercise to practice every once in a while. Just set a timer like 10 minutes for one sketch, maybe less than 10 minutes. But you can also start with, more time, less sketches, and then less time, more sketches. Like say 5 minutes for one thumbnail, and let's say 5 thumbnails. So total 25 minutes. And then you say, okay, 5 minutes, 2 thumbnails. Or I just want to make a quick sketch for under 2 to 3 minutes, and make them 20 or 50. I know that sounds crazy. I actually never do that because I'm lazy, but I see people actually testing their limits in terms of how many sketches can I pull up in just under 10 minutes. So it's a really great exercise. Also boosts up your brain and creativity, and mastering your skills of fast drawer, because it's a concept art. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is the key part that makes it doable. Cheers, mate. My coffee is cold. Oh, I didn't spill it. Don't tell me. Don't say anything. Okay, final round. I want to draw a kid with long-sleeved banana sleeves. So, just like Vex is her name, right? From Riot. That Yordle that has long sleeves, sort of thing. But we're not copying. I'm not even looking at the reference, which I probably should, because I can think of her appearance and her design on top of my head, but I don't exactly remember how she looks like. Oh, there you go. Very nonchalant. Wow. Also, the concept art for her is crazy. I really like that. Somebody uses line art to define the shapes, which is also fine, but I kind of like just sticking to the basic brushstrokes and shapes. So maybe tiny hand, tiny small legs, or for instance big boots. Yeah, I kind of like the big boots idea, like untied shoes with laces on the floor, like that. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Ooh, me likey. Me so likey. I can't wait to finally be able to stream you guys in real life. That would be so awesome. Also, oh, I almost forgot. I just figured, so I came up with this idea to make a character spotlight for each episode that I will be making. And in these character spotlights, I will be sharing my characters' information, their backstory, how do they interact with each other, what are their relationships, fun facts, and so on. And the character of the day is my favorite honey bun, Aizen Wolfgun. Yes, it's spelled Aizen, not Aizen. So initially, fun fact, his name was supposed to be Isaac, but it's starting with I, letter I, and I needed letter A. So because he is a part of a Mad Squad, and the Mad Squad stands for the first letter of the name of my character. So M for Maxwell, which I'm gonna talk about later. A for Aizen, and D for Dale, which makes them a Mad Squad members. Because they're mad! Anyway, let's continue drawing. Ooh, maybe I want kind of a crazy hat. Crazy hat. Maybe, ooh, yes! A wizard kid? Yeah, absolutely! I want to move it a little bit down here. Yes, that works better. That is so much better. And the head, I literally just came up with this. I just thought of it. Oh, no, she's no longer Vex, she's Lulu from you can tell I get inspiration from Riot a lot from League of Legends. Her hat is crazy big. I don't make it crazy big. I want it a little bit curved. Not like that, slightly. Because banana is not like that curved, but it is curved. Maybe crescent themed. Ooh. So, what about color? What about our color? Yeah, I like that color actually. Small, subtle, nice. Why am I talking about coffee? It's a concept art, and I also was talking about character spotlight. Goddamn, bring me back my focus! So Aizen is the last of his kind. He's kind of distinct species, which is called Legna. And if you read backwards, it's angel. Wow! I mean, who would think he has wings and a tail? Is he an angel then? Well, kind of. Yes and no, because I was focusing more on the bird-like look than angel-like look. But I like the idea of him being a saint, I don't know, sacred creature, or not celestial, but divine being. Anywho, since he is the last of his species and he has never seen anyone who would look the same, nobody taught him how to actually control his powers on the intuitive level, so he struggles a lot with that. So by that I mean his wings can accidentally just, pop in, and he's like, oh! Like in the most awkward moment, like in the crowd, imagine him standing in a crowd and he's just like, okay, I'm in line for this ramen, I'm gonna felt for street food or whatever, and he stands there in line and all of a sudden, BOW! Wings coming out, and he's like, oh my god, I can't, control them, and they would hit people around him, like, smack him, and right in the face. That would be so funny. He's like, sorry, and he's like wrapping them around him, like trying to become as little as possible because his wings kind of everywhere. That would be really fun though. If you want to question me, is there anything you want to know about my characters? And somebody asked me a really interesting question. So if my characters had MBTI personality type, what would their personalities be? And that made me think, I have thought about it, but I haven't really dived into that deeply. So that's what I did the other day. I went on my little research adventure and read all the personalities, tried to align them with my characters, and interestingly, I found a really cool stuff. So if we're talking about my character, he would be best described as an entrepreneur, like explorer. He's definitely that type of guy. Funny, clumsy, creative, curious. His weaknesses, though, he's very defiant. Thinks on the spot, so never really and lives in the moment. And he's not that much reliable. He's a reliable friend, but as a person, he might, be insensitive or miss, some social cues. Not that badly as my other characters, but him particularly because he's very childish-like, goofy, but he is very creative. So I think of him very highly. I love this character. He was my first character I ever designed, and his design was heavily inspired. Not heavily. Was inspired by one of my acquaintances. And one thing you should know about my characters is most of them, if not all, are based off my friends and acquaintances from the past and current life. So this one is based off one guy I really liked back in the day. His profile seemed to be very fascinating to me, so I was like, I might use your appearance for my character one day. And his design came from one of the Undertale AUs. So I think the first time I created this character was 2015 when the Undertale came up, and I was very much fixated in that game. I still am. I love this game, and Deltarune, gosh, I would be yapping about Deltarune all the time. So if you're the Delta head, the fan, welcome. You will like this place. Let's not distract and create this character design, shall we? While also talking about my other characters. So yeah, I just bought his design. I think I just stumbled upon one of the fan arts for this AU. I don't remember the AU name, but it was Sans with wings and the mask. I remember thinking to myself, my god, what a cool concept. And it wasn't really cool. It wasn't nothing crazy. It's just jacket with thorough hood and wings and shorts. That's it. So I did tweak the design a little bit. Oh, maybe make these type of pants. I don't know. It looks silly. Type of bird, initially I was thinking of him being a hawk, but there's already plenty of iconic characters created and named after this bird, so I was like, do you want to be another one? And surely the design is different, the character is different. You say, Donna, what's up with that? Don't care, make it real. But I felt like I don't want to be another one who just, follows others. And I wanted to stand out. I wanted my character to stand out, first of all. So now he is a Swift. And I found it incredibly fitting, thanks to my friend that gave me that idea, because since he doesn't really know how to control his powers well, he sure knows how to fly, but how to start, make a leap and jump float in the air, it's really hard for them. Just like for swifts, if they are not on the, you know, for them to fly, they would have to be on top of a building or something, a very tall construction, and then they just fall down, spraying their wings, and then they fly. So that they can actually make them fly from the ground. That's the thing. And I thought to myself, whoa, that's incredibly fitting to my character because he doesn't really know how to do that. He knows how to fly, but how to start, you know, that's a challenge for him. So I was like, okay, Swift is more likely to happen than the Hawk. He would be a Hawk later when he masters his. He would be promoted to a Hawk later when he masters his abilities. Anyhow, I think this one has a pretty big head. Let's just do this instead. I really like that character. I nurtured him from the beginning. It's been like 11 years since they are been on my mind. And I don't know why it took me so long to actually, you know, get my characters out there, make people look at them and say, hey, not bad. But I think I'm finally ready to just introduce my world to the world in which we're living in. Okay, and I think that's it. For the starters, we just explored the concept art just using the silhouettes. As you can see, you can, you know, go far and beyond that. I just made you a little preview of how it looks like. Next episode, I think we might explore more the shapes, and then we can focus more on character ideation. So these are just the ideas for the banana, I don't know, guards, sentinels. If you think of a better name, please comment below. I love hearing from you, so please. That's it for today. It's gonna be a pretty long video, I feel like, but this is just the beginning. I am definitely gonna be diving deeper and deeper into the character concept art. This is just the first trial, a test drive. So the silhouette concept art, I could have done more, I'm pretty sure, because as I just finished the third concept of this banana kid, I feel like I could go even further. I'm not particularly happy about this girl, although I did say that I like her, but the idea in my head looked way better than I just made. But again, it's not supposed to be perfect, it's a concept, it's just the idea. You can refine it later if you feel like you want to stick to this concept, you want to expand on it more, then yeah. The sky's the limit, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if this was in any way helpful to you. If you want to see more content like this, thumbs up if you really like this video. So this is it. We'll be wrapping this up, and if you made it this far, thank you again so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next videos, and we might be able to expand it a little more. If you like the work that I do, please consider looking up my Patreon. The link will be in the description. Thank you just for being here and listening. It means a lot. And I will be definitely continuing working on this. Alright, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Love you guys.